He needs a wake-up call because he's clearly trying to fool himself and trying to fool me.
And the doc said I had to lose 50 pounds and get under the 585 mark if I want to get approved for surgery.
I would skip this part if I could. But it'd be nice to see if I was in the 500s.
All right, so you're 35 and you're not that far from reaching over 800 pounds.
And I know that's hard for Irma to absorb. And I know this is a shock for her. It's a shock for me too.
Depressed, because I just didn't see no way out.
You lost 250 pounds.
50 for your triglycerides. Yours are 359. The stakes for Kelly are high.
I worked so hard to do this. To see it pay off is incredible.
Because I'm gonna cover about a whole lot of things.
Number 10, Ronnie Dominguez. Michael Dominguez and his wife Ronnie had a tumultuous journey on My 600 Pound Life. The couple debuted in season 5 in 2017 when Michael was only 32. Arizona native Ronnie was over 635 pounds.
I don't like that he yells at DJ like that. To me, it makes me feel really bad because I wish you could get up and help him.
We're packing up everything and heading to Texas, and I'm nervous, excited.
He needs a wake-up call because he's clearly trying to fool himself and trying to fool me.
Heavy lifting. It's messed up that I'm putting all that pressure on them to do everything for me.
All right.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, I'll see you in a couple of months.
And was trying to become healthier. She took the journey with her husband, Michael Dominguez, who was also overweight and starting his campaign at over 630 pounds. Ronnie decided that she wouldn't only support her husband, but try to lose weight alongside him. Devoted in every way to this partnership, she made every effort to help her husband on this journey. But it turned out that the couple's troubles ran too deep. The couple had some rough patches on screen, leaving fans to wonder how their relationship was going to survive. Michael and Ronnie made efforts to become fit on the show, but they also needed to make their relationship healthy as well. The couple showcased good support for each other, but major differences and red flags still appeared. Their main issues started when Ronnie thought she would also get weight loss surgery as she didn't want to be unfit anymore. However, this led to Michael allegedly becoming jealous of his wife, and it caused a rift in their relationship. Things took a violent turn when during one off-screen incident, Michael slammed a door, breaking his wife's fingertips. Ronnie admitted that Michael wasn't living with her because of that fight that got out of hand. Ronnie admitted to the tragedy in the episode when she visited Dr. Now with her kids. The couple did support each other throughout their on-screen appearance. However, after Ronnie opened up on the show, people realized she was actually in a terrible relationship. She was brave enough to showcase her injury and fallout in front of cameras, and it was reassuring to know that her adult kids even supported her choice. This fight turned into a watershed moment, and Ronnie shared that her husband had always treated her badly. During their quarrel, he shut the door on her hand so hard that the tip of her right hand's middle finger came off. While Ronnie went to the hospital after that, she couldn't get it stitched back. It was heartbreaking to see the My 600 Pound Life alum cry and showcase her injury in front of cameras. Painful though it was, the incident gave her enough courage to never take the abuse and claimed she had left her husband. Ronnie and Michael's friction on My 600 Pound Life left some fans wondering whether they would even stay married once their respective weight loss journeys were over. Nevertheless, Michael lost over 300 pounds during his journey, and Ronnie showed off a much slimmer version of herself as well. As their weight loss progressed, Ronnie and Michael became more mobile and seemed happier than ever. Michael and Ronnie have disappeared from social media over the last few years. Hence, it's hard to say if the couple finalized their divorce for good. Their episode was a reminder of how mental health is just as important as physical fitness. While there's no evidence of Ronnie splitting from Michael, hopefully she has found her worth and called it quits.
But right now, it's hard for me to watch my family do everything. All the packing. And the doc said I had to lose 50 pounds and get under the 585 mark if I want to get approved for surgery.
But I know that he hurts and he can't stand for long, so what good is he gonna do us? Anytime we have something big going on, it's always falling on me and the kids.
And I'm scared of letting my family down.
All right, let's close this one up.
Since Ronnie has faced abuse for over 9 years of her marriage, it's understandable why she must have gone through with the divorce after her appearance on the hit TLC show. The Arizona couple faced many challenges over the years, and Michael had no intention of working on his anger issues. Therefore, there was no way for Ronnie to fix her relationship. Here's to hoping that she's moved on from Michael and is now doing better. Number 9. Rashonda, Brandy, and Clarence. Rashonda, Brandy, and Clarence Perillo, stars of the TLC series My 600 Pound Life, were known as the One-Ton Family when they were featured on the show during season 6. The siblings weighed over 2,000 pounds when they first traveled to Houston to work with celebrity bariatric surgeon Dr. Now Nazarian 4 years ago.
Because I think out of all of us, I'm the most likely to be so big that the doctor can't help me.
582.
That's a little higher than I thought. We finally made it here for our first appointment, and we're all extremely nervous because none of us know how this is gonna go. I'm sure it's still smaller than Brandon and Rashonda, but I guess I'm catching up to them some.
At the start of their weight loss journey, Rashonda weighed 783 pounds, Brandy weighed upwards of 650 pounds, and Clarence said he weighed less than both of his sisters, although his weight was still debatable. According to Distractify, the Perillo siblings were categorized as super morbidly obese by Dr. Now, and they struggled to exert control over their eating habits before finally traveling to Houston to work with Dr. Now. We've been to doctors over the years who have told us there's nothing they can do to help us because we're too big, the Perillos shared during their original episode. However, despite some challenges along the way, Brandy was the first to be approved for the weight loss surgery during her original journey with Dr. Now, followed by Clarence shortly after. Seeing both of her siblings being approved for the weight loss surgery prompted Rashonda to work harder and keep to her diet, and when she finally dropped down to just over 600 pounds, Dr. Now also approved her for surgery. The Perillo siblings lost a combined 700 pounds by the end of their first episode. Although Rashonda was still 600 pounds in early 2019, Brandy was down to an impressive 370 pounds, while Clarence weighed in at 397 pounds.
I don't see how my weight could be that high.
Okay, you guys can go ahead and follow me and we'll head to the room.
So I'm hoping that this goes well, because if we can't get help here, then I don't think our option in New Orleans will pan out either.
I would skip this part if I could. But it'd be nice to see if I was in the 500s.
Perillo family?
And we didn't come all this way and put Rashonda through all she's been through just to hear we're beyond help.
And that she could be getting close to 800 pounds. I really don't want to do this.
The siblings didn't give up on their healthy lifestyle at the end of the program. Rashonda reveals during the follow-up episode that she's lost over 300 pounds since 2018, putting her weight somewhere in the 400s. The siblings decided to focus on their weight loss journeys instead of losing weight as a family, which appears to be working for them pretty well to this day. Number 8. David and Benji. David and Benji Bolton ended My 600 Pound Life Season 6 with hopes of continuing their weight loss journey.
All right, so you're 35 and you're not that far from reaching over 800 pounds.
I really hope he's just not so high that doctor can't help him today.
I can only stand for maybe 2 or 3 minutes at a time.
So?
It's a struggle every day just to do anything.
David and Benji Benton appeared in Season 6 when Benji and David debuted on the 6th season of My 600 Pound Life. The brothers weighed a total of 1,300 pounds. David, the heaviest at 747 pounds, explained that they grew up poor and would spend all of their extra money on junk food. Unlike his brother Benji, who weighed just 582 pounds, David explained that he gained weight faster than his siblings and already weighed 140 pounds by the time he was 10 years old. Nonetheless, the brothers were determined to lose weight and change their life for the better. After consulting with My 600 Pound Life's Dr. Now Nazarian, aka Dr. Now, the brothers were placed on a specialized diet that kick-started their weight loss journey. David quickly dropped about 141 pounds, which qualified him for bariatric surgery. However, Benji struggled with losing weight, only dropping 14 pounds within the same time frame. Nonetheless, he took inspiration from David's improvement by working harder. Eventually, Benji also qualified for his bariatric surgery. After their surgery, the two brothers continued working hard to live a healthier lifestyle. By the end of their episode, David had dropped to 420 pounds while Benji weighed in at around 258 pounds. After leaving the series, David and Benji continued towards their weight loss goals, and the brothers dropped even more weight eventually. When David and Benji started My 600 Pound Life Season 6, the brothers had a very good relationship. Despite their personality differences, they helped and motivated each other to achieve their weight loss goals. However, Benji sadly admitted that he and his brother had a falling out later on. One of the reasons the brothers stopped seeing eye to eye was David's decision to sue Megla Media, the studio that produces My 600 Pound Life. After their stint on the show, David sued the company and the producers. The hidden controversies within the show were revealed after their episodes ended. The case documents filed by David alleged that the lifestyle changes needed for him to undergo weight loss surgery made him frustrated and depressed, and that the show never provided any mental assistance for him. He also accused the studio of promising to pay all medical bills incurred under Dr. Now's care.
And then my daughter Lorelai won't have to take care of me.
But me and David just like to eat.
I was always different and bigger than everybody else.
The last time I had my weight checked, I was in the lower 500s. So I figure that's the range I'm in.
How y'all doing?
I'm doing all right.
I'm Dr. Nazardan.
I'm David.
But they didn't. The brothers did lose weight and change their lives, but the worst loss was that of their brotherhood, which can never be replaced. Number 7, Julian Valentine. Julian Valentine appeared on My 600 Pound Life Season 10, and it's time to talk about what he's been doing since the popular TLC series aired.
You're killing yourself with food for a while now, and you still haven't stopped overeating.
Yes.
Okay? Your body is made to be 200 pounds.
Yes.
And you're 800.
I was scared that I was close to 800, and now I find out I'm over that amount.
All right, nice to meet you guys. You all coming from Arizona?
Yes.
Julian was 33 years old when he debuted on the show in 2021, and fans quickly became interested in his story, mostly due to his harsh upbringing. According to Julian, his family couldn't afford many groceries back then, so he ate a lot whenever they were lucky enough to get food. He was never sure when his next meal would come from. The hunger and perpetual insecurity regarding his next meal propelled him into a food obsession. After several years of living like that, Julian, who worked as an electrician, gained a lot of weight. When he debuted on My 600 Pound Life, Julian weighed about 830 pounds. Julian's wife Irma helped him with everything, but there were problems. His weight was a major reason why the couple had trouble conceiving a child. Following consultation with My 600 Pound Life's Dr. Yuna Nazarudin, Julian was assigned a customized diet plan. After 5 months, he lost around 136 pounds. During the couple's trip to Texas for Julian's bariatric surgery, he regained most of the weight that he had lost. He had to stay on Dr. Now's plan for another 2 months, after which he underwent bariatric surgery.
I want to take control back of my life and hope I can get this weight loss surgery.
All right, you must be Julian.
Yes.
And who is this with you today?
My wife, Irma.
Well, you are 830 pounds, so doing all that puts a lot of strain on your body.
And I know that's hard for Irma to absorb. And I know this is a shock for her. It's a shock for me, too.
Julian explained that he and his father were both on weight loss journeys and had their bariatric procedures around the same time. Although he mentioned no cause of demise, Julian praised his father's resilience and sense of humor. His dad never gave up on him and his sister. This loss shook the foundations of his life. We hope it won't unravel all the good that he's achieved in his life. Number 6, Maya Rodanovich. Maya Rodanovich didn't have a remarkably dramatic weight loss journey on My 600 Pound Life, but she has since improved her life. The Oregon native was 33 when she debuted on a hit TLC show at a starting weight of over 690 pounds. Not only did she depend on her boyfriend for everything, but she was emotionally drained by physical pain.
So I feel like this should be enough to show Dr. Now that I'm ready to get surgery. At least it's a loss. But it's not anywhere near what I was doing.
So at this time, I'm canceling your weight loss surgery.
This is your fault. At my last doctor's visit, I lost 93 pounds in 2 months to get down to 596. I literally cannot believe how much wrong information has been given to me about today.
including discomfort linked with swelling. Therefore, when she debuted on the show, Dr. Now immediately recommended a specific diet and workout plan that would help her to lose enough weight to qualify for bariatric surgery. Maya's weight problem began at a young age after her parents divorced. The breakup led the reality star to seek comfort in food, which soon became the reason for her considerable weight gain. To make matters worse, Maya's family bullied her, which negatively impacted her self-esteem and mental health. While working at a fast food restaurant, Maya piled on the pounds, and this decreased her chances of conceiving a baby. For that reason, Maya's fiancé left her, leaving her heartbroken. Throughout her episode of the show, Maya tried to follow Dr. Now's plan, but ultimately lost only 93 pounds. While Maya couldn't transform herself or qualify for the surgery, she didn't give up on her goals.
So I don't know if this is going to be enough for Dr. Now or not.
But if you want to show me that you're not going to make any more excuses and you're ready to work hard again.
No.
Please talk to my mom. Christian, Mom, put it on, it's on speakerphone.
So you have gone right back to your old ways. So what happened?
It's just been a really hard time.
Despite not having any support system, she kept fighting to lose weight and promised her doctor that she would continue making progress. Maya kept her promise and lost enough weight for the bariatric surgery. The reality star knows she isn't where she wants to be, but she understands that her life is still better than it was a few years ago. She has overcome her challenges and is determined to become even healthier. Since the end of her journey on the show, Maya has kept to her changed ways, leading life in good health and feeling happy. Number 5, Tiffany Barker. At the time she appeared on the program,
out of all the big steps I need to try and take, I decided to try and talk to my dad.
In regards to your father, Tiffany, I would like for you to maybe write Dad a letter.
We lived off of food stamps for most of my childhood, off and on. Sometimes I think about if my dad wasn't so verbally abusive towards my mom.
The 29-year-old Marysville, Washington resident was over 650 pounds when she debuted on the TLC show in 2019. At the time, Tiffany admitted that she was gaining weight due to her eating habits and her addiction to shopping for food. She dealt with major health complications and body pain during her episode, which led her to consult with Dr. Younan Nazaruddin. As expected, things were more complicated than they looked. During the show, Tiffany revealed her backstory and why she was overeating. She explained that her issues started during her father's mistreatment of her, which pushed her into her sad state. This depression caused her to begin eating food, as it was the only thing that made her feel a little happier. Her case was proof that words can be lethal. The hurtful ones she received from her father pushed her into finding comfort in other things, the most frequent being food. The episode showed Tiffany following Dr. Now's plan and sticking to her 1,200-calorie diet despite how impossible it felt. As a result, she dropped over 100 pounds in the first few months and reached 555 pounds. Soon after, Tiffany lost more weight and ended her episode while she was 415 pounds.
And I started to realize that he wasn't the best person towards her.
Okay, I look forward to seeing you next time.
Look forward to seeing you as well.
Bye.
But I know if I don't start doing these things, then there's a good chance I'll end up trying to use food for comfort again. I just wanted you to know how that affected me, so that we can move past it and I can accept you as my daddy. I've always dreamed of the possibility of having my relationship with my dad restored one day.
Tiffany's story on My 600-Pound Life Season 7 concluded years ago, but she continued her journey to improve her life. After her impressive weight loss transformation, she changed various things and achieved a much more stable lifestyle. Number 4, V&A and Allen. My 600-Pound Life has paired off quite a few cast members to benefit from being buddied up during the filming of their weight loss journey.
I'm afraid of going under again because of what happened last time. And that's making me feel alone. And it's just hard because I want to be happy for him. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm also struggling with being jealous of Alan and all the progress he's making that I can't participate in yet, you know? So he's going out and doing a lot, but I don't feel like I have as much support from him, so I'm struggling. This is all just a struggle for me.
One of the couples that have stood out is V&A and Alan from Chicago. The two claimed that a shared love of food brought them together, and in a way, they were meant for each other. The Chicago couple met online and felt an instant connection, but now their addictions are taking a toll on their health and stopping them from having a family. They both know they need to change if they want to live more fulfilling lives, but food is practically the only thing that brings them comfort and happiness. Unfortunately, the two were partners in feeling the ill effects of their shared love as well. V&A became bedbound, with Alan having to look after her despite not being completely mobile himself. When their episode began, V&A had a peak weight of 594 pounds. Her husband Alan's peak weight was 648 pounds. The couple was eager for Dr. Now's help, but Alan found himself unable to resist tweaking the doctor's orders. His motivation seemed sensible enough. As Alan himself explained, he worried that cutting out junk food completely would send his wife into a spiral of depression. He had seen that happen before when she tried to diet but didn't want to repeat. Instead, he planned to cut out snacks every few days to make the process easier on his wife. Within months, the two had managed to make progress, if unevenly. 2/3 of the way through filming, Alan had dropped 130 pounds and gotten conditional approval for weight loss surgery, but V&A had only lost 18. For V&A, after learning about her depression, Dr. Now recommended she go to psychotherapy to help with her food addiction. In therapy, V&A talked about her late mother and how her physical maltreatment impacted her childhood. She doubted her efforts, including attending therapy sessions to help heal with food addiction. V&A, too, eventually earned approval for the surgery. V&A was serious about weight loss surgery. She believed that without the surgery, she had no hope for a future at all. She had attached her hopes to it, and what happened next made it devastating. After being approved for it to go ahead, things took a turn for the worst. In one of the series' most shocking moments, V&A's surgery had to be halted when she nearly passed away on the operating table. During the operation, V&A flatlined after suffering a cardiac arrest. Her doctor concluded that even though all her tests were good before the surgery, the strain of the weight and her size on them meant her body could hit its limit at any point and start to struggle like this. Fortunately, that devastating moment was quickly followed by a real triumph. They managed to restart her heart before stitching her up and getting her to the recovery unit so she could rest. She was put into the ICU overnight so they could make sure that she was stable. V&A was visibly devastated by the news that her surgery hadn't gone as planned, but everyone around her reassured her that she was okay. They told her that they could try to perform the gastric sleeve operation at a later date. A few weeks after the surgery, she said that she felt like she had no motivation and can be seen crying in frustration at her situation. By the end of the first V&A and Alan update, the couple had lost a bit more than 500 pounds between them. Alan dropped 272 pounds, going from 648 to 376, and V&A lost 226, falling from 594 to 368. The couple ended My 600 Pound Life Season 7 with a roller coaster of an episode and ultimately a high note.
But I got here okay, and Dr. Now was pleased with the weight loss I've had over the last month. So things aren't going so well, but I have no choice. I have to keep pushing forward. That's my biggest fear right now, is that he's just gonna leave me in the dust. That and surgery, and without it, I have no hope for a future at all. So I have to get this no matter how terrified I am.
To do this operation again. So it's very important we work with V&A to help her continue losing the weight.
Since the filming for their first episode ended, V&A and Alan have rededicated themselves to their health and their marriage. It's difficult to recall any My 600 Pound Life cast member who seemed quite so overwhelmed and grateful for what's happened to them since appearing on the show. Number 3, Nikki Webster. Nikki had a memorable story on My 600 Pound Life as she tried to overcome her food addiction during Season 4. every once in a while, an episode's participant enters the program with such a positive outlook and sunny disposition that fans gain renewed faith in the process, and Nikki Webster was just that person.
It was really hard to let some of that go. I've really had to take it.
The chances are you going to make it to 40 are not that good.
I'm just shocked to see that number because it's the highest I've ever weighed.
Sometimes, as a parent, it's hard to know if you're helping or enabling, you know? Sometimes there's a fine line.
Start eating, y'all are already done. Well, yeah, before you eat it, figure out how many calories.
Incredible. I'm like 30 pounds from my target weight now.
I'm going to start you on 1,200 calorie a day diet. Then you should be able to lose 50 pounds or next.
Her eating habits affected every area of her life and had a detrimental impact on her health. She knew that if she didn't change, she would continue to be stuck in the same cycle. The consequences of staying the same could be very serious. She was already feeling the ill effects of her poor decisions. Weighing nearly 650 pounds, Nikki was having serious issues with her mobility. Her weight diminished her quality of life, making it difficult to move and take care of herself. She was also feeling the impact of her weight on her social situation. She was experiencing social ostracization by getting banned from seeing her nieces and nephews in case her weight distressed them. Webster was desperate for help from Dr. Now. At the time, she explained that her weight was debilitating, her body was painful, and she hated it. She needed normality in her life, and the first step towards that was weight loss. Nikki's determination to not give up on herself was an inspiration in my 600-pound life. She knew she had two options. She could either keep making excuses to justify overeating, or she could put in the work. If she did, she'd prove to herself that she was capable of changing. When she decided to take her first step towards a healthier lifestyle, she weighed 650 pounds. When she turned up at Dr. Now's clinic, he hit the nail on the head when he confronted her enabling father. What set Nikki's case apart from others was her realization that she had to take matters into her own hands and change her lifestyle. Incredibly, her parents became her biggest support, joining in her journey and lifestyle change. She had to learn new coping mechanisms and deal with things that she just couldn't deal with before. She had dealt with those things by eating, and now she just learned to deal with them in healthier ways. Through therapy, drastic lifestyle changes, and new coping mechanisms, Nikki Webster became a triumphant success story. Since she invested in her future and stayed committed to her weight loss journey, she lost a total of 450 pounds. Her incredible results stemmed from her desire to improve her quality of life.
When we got home from seeing the doctor, the first thing we did was get rid of the food that was. Going to see the doctor was more activity that I've had in a long time. I worked so hard to do this. To see it pay off is incredible. And I hope what I'm doing is going to be enough.
Tonight, I'm headed to Bruno's Little Italy. It's a little Italian restaurant downtown.
This has been a really hard couple of months. My goal was to lose another 50 pounds.
She's very close to her target weight, but I'm concerned about the treatment she received on her sutures.
A fast food restaurant.
When you get home, do you eat at home?
Yes, typically then I'll have dinner with my family.
She also wanted food to have less power over her. Her kind spirit, compassionate nature, and fun-loving attitude were her winning traits. She's very charismatic in her everyday life and wanted her spirit to shine through her physique. By the end of her episode, the Little Rock, Arkansas native had not only met the requirements to enter the rigorous weight loss program, but she received gastric bypass surgery and was down over 200 pounds, but there was still a long road ahead of her. Number 2, Kelly Mason. If you have an affection for cheese fries, you won't after watching this. It's so much grosser than it sounds. Freaky Eaters is an American documentary television program based on the BBC program of the same name that aired on TLC.
Precursor to both diabetes and heart disease. It's characterized by a cluster of factors.
And I also see that you know that the French fries and the cheese is actually increasing your risk of those things.
34-year-old Kelly eats nothing but cheesy potatoes, morning, noon.
What I'd like you to do is pick one of those up and pour it onto the potatoes.
I won't eat at work. I'll go through a drive-thru at lunchtime. I don't really eat in front of other people.
Kelly can't stand to smell or even touch most foods, especially vegetables.
I didn't know what to think. It kind of startled me.
Why do you eat in secret in an alley?
I don't want people to know what I eat.
This was painful, difficult, but it was necessary so she'd really come to reality.
It was hosted by psychotherapist Mike Dow and co-hosted by nutrition specialist JJ Virgin. The program aired over 2 seasons from September 5th, 2010 to June 26, 2011. It never returned for a 3rd season and was abruptly canceled in the spring of 2011, with the last episode airing on June 26, 2011. But within the short duration of its showing, it left a definite mark on its audience. Kelly's case stood out from the rest since the program dealt with people who had bizarre addictions to food and/or eating disorders, and Kelly was addicted to cheesy potatoes. For Kelly, it was definitely more than a food and more like crack to her. She famously said, "When I eat cheesy potatoes, it instantly puts a smile on my face," and she loved to smile all the time. Every day, she ate a whopping 8,000 calories, 4 times the recommended number, and 176 grams of fat in potatoes and cheese each day, even though for average women, around 50 grams of fat is the acceptable amount. By way of an explanation, Kelly explained that as a child, she fell in love with the fast food combo at a tender age when she went out to a fast food joint as a young child. She went on to claim that she was forced to eat ham and eggs at a family meal at the age of 4. This forced feeding episode didn't end well, with her throwing up all over the table. The episode marked her for life and followed her into adulthood. The entire episode traumatized her so much that she became hung on a diet of cheese and potatoes. Since then, every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner consisted of the same menu for the last 30 years of her life. Cheesy potatoes had essentially ruined her daily life, her health, and even her perception of other food. What wasn't sane was her violent reaction to other foods. Her husband was well aware of his wife's hang-up and shared his concerns about her addiction. He went so far as to encourage her to diversify her diet. When that didn't help out, he even cooked healthy food for her.
We then took it to tomatoes. These are wet and slimy, and these definitely represent a challenge for Kelly.
How are you feeling?
It's getting harder.
Really, actually, it's about the equivalent of what you eat a day, just so you know.
I have tried some new foods, snow peas, broccoli.
I was thrilled to hear those results. Baby!
I wanted to hear how her food addiction was affecting their marriage.
Kelly's health is a ticking time bomb. This is a critical time for Kelly. It's really make or break. 50 for your triglycerides. Yours are 359. The stakes for Kelly are high. So we're gonna take the first step today, but we have something else that we're going to add into the mix.
I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, they're gonna have me trying some strange things.
Right in front of you, we're gonna tell you what's...
An effort Kelly welcomed, with Kelly crying and then gagging when she was offered a tiny stem of broccoli. Though viewers were far from kind and sympathetic about her plight, it was clear that Kelly's case required specialists who were called in to help with this damaging and compulsive diet. Kelly was on a runaway train and her health was definitely on the line. She had become morbidly obese and her mobility was also getting impacted. Number 1. Henry Foote. Complex diseases always calls for tough measures, and so does obesity. Obesity is not only a cosmetic concern, but also a health problem.
But they really was surprised that made up in my mind to go on and do surgery. I have seen people that have had the surgery that's still the same person.
The one thing that I was afraid of most of all was I wouldn't wake up.
Walking without having to depend on a walker. That's going to be a really important goal.
I want to lose this weight. It's too heavy on me right now.
That's where you had the operation.
It's hard for me all the time. I ain't gonna lie to you, I do eat stuff I don't supposed to eat. Cheating me. Everybody around my house like popcorn. And it just...
Alongside difficulty in movement, obese people are at a higher risk of developing cardiovascular diseases, particularly heart failure. Weight loss is not a walk in the park, and that's why even though Henry Foots passed away nearly 10 years ago, he still inspires many people who would want to embark on their own weight loss journey. There are different outcomes for the series' cast members. Some get their lives back on track and become inspirations, while others struggle to follow rigorous weight loss processes. For Henry, it was exciting to see how far he had come on the show. Henry was 47 years old at the time of the show, which tracked his weight loss over 7 years. Henry weighed roughly 715 pounds at the start, and he wanted to lose weight before attending his high school reunion. In his childhood, Henry is said to not have cared much about his eating habits as well as his weight. He started to gain weight starting from his junior high school years and was 715 pounds at his highest. During an episode in My 600 Pound Life, his mother, Addie Virginia, revealed that Henry would sneak food into the bathroom and hide while eating there. He had a greedy habit that saw him gain more weight as time passed. Henry Foots' weight loss journey started during the show's first season. He was one of the heaviest patients in season 1, weighing over 715 pounds. Due to his large body, he faced problems such as knee aches, back pain, and difficulty in movement. Throughout his time on My 600 Pound Life, Henry dealt with several emotional obstacles on his weight loss journey, including the loss of his father and feelings of shame and despair. Henry's ability to persevere and stay positive was incredibly inspiring as viewers watched him manage to lose an impressive 440 pounds overall. Henry Foots was married to Lycurgus Kirk Waller for almost 2 years. The couple tied the knot on 21st August 2011 after dating for about 13 years in a wedding ceremony attended by only close friends and relatives. During this period, Lycurgus took care of him due to his ballooning weight. With time, she felt less like a partner and more like a caretaker and decided to end their long relationship. As a result, he decided to seek Dr. Nazaruddin's assistance. Under Dr. Now, Henry had gastric bypass surgery, and after the first skin removal, he lost 340 pounds, moving from 715 to 375 pounds. During his second surgery, his heart stopped for a while, but thankfully, the procedure turned out successful as the doctors revived him. He would later tell TLC's cameras about the experience, saying that he saw white light. It was just like having an out-of-body experience. There was a light to take him to heaven, but he wasn't ready for it because there was so much here on earth that he hadn't done yet. He saw this as a second chance to live a healthy life and remained even more determined. However, after 2 surgeries, Henry struggled to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and it took almost 7 years to get his life back on track. He eventually registered a remarkable weight loss of 440 pounds by the end of his weight loss journey. Even though the couple were no longer together, Henry didn't lose hope. He still loved Lycurgus and was willing to win her back. A few years later, the couple rekindled their relationship. Lycurgus and Henry lived together until 2013. Unfortunately, Henry's bad luck followed him into his happy future. After gaining back his normal life, Henry worked as a shuttle bus driver. One day, while on duty, which is on 29th November 2012, he suffered an unknown medical episode, and as a result, he passed out on the wheels. The bus he was driving hit an SUV and ran over a woman standing along the road. The woman, who was later identified as Carlette Michelle Blake, was rushed to the hospital. However, she couldn't survive due to her injuries and passed away. Fortunately, a total of 11 passengers on the shuttle escaped with minor injuries. Though Henry survived the incident, its pall stayed with him. On 16th May 2013, 6 months after the bus incident,
I hope to be scheduled next month for my first SS scan. My route is the furthest out, so, for me to be the first bus, I'm doing real good. Depressed, because I just didn't see no way out.
You lost 250 pounds.
He's smaller now than he was when I first met him.
I love him.
Problem.
Henry is determined. He got up and walked more than I expected him to do.
Bye.
Bye, all right.
Not gonna do that. I got a lap now.
Because I'm gonna cover about a whole lot of things.
Henry Foots passed away at the age of 54. The cause of his demise is unknown, but reports indicated that he succumbed to something unrelated to the surgery. He was buried on 21st May 2013 at Brookside Cemetery in Houston. That's all we have for you guys. Join us next time and catch you later.